Sophia had been the object of David's deep affection for years, though servants at the Skyview estate sneered at her behind her back. David, however, silenced any gossip, ensuring no one dared speak ill of her. Once the head of the powerful Starlit Corporation, Sophia had been betrayed and left mentally unstable. Taking advantage of her vulnerability, Louis manipulated her into marriage and seized her wealth. The only thing left was her signature to finalize his complete takeover. But David refused to let Sophia's years of effort go to waste and warned her never to sign anything blindly. One day, Cassie, Louis's mistress, found Sophia asleep in a car and cruelly ordered the guards to jolt her awake. The abrupt disturbance sparked something in Sophia, bringing back her lost memories. Just as she was about to confront Cassie, David arrived. Cassie mocked him, calling him nothing more than Louis's insignificant uncle with no right to meddle. Not wanting to frighten Sophia, David let Cassie go. Now fully aware of David's quiet protection, Sophia decided to continue pretending to be clueless while she assessed her enemies in the shadows. With her memories restored, her charming yet mischievous behavior left David completely captivated. Shortly after, Louis hosted a grand banquet to declare himself the new chairman of Starlit Corporation. Unexpectedly, David crashed the event, landing a resounding slap across Louis's face. Knowing David's power, Louis had to swallow his anger. Then, Sophia arrived, and Louis didn't bother hiding his disdain, ridiculing her downfall from a business powerhouse to a mere fool. Fueled by vengeance, Sophia vowed to make him and Cassie regret ever crossing her. Feigning innocence, Sophia's sharp words quickly provoked Cassie, amusing David with her wit. Dismissing the tension, Louis turned his attention to Sophia and forced her toward a contract, pressuring her to sign. Playing along, Sophia scrawled Cassie's name on the document, humiliating Louis in front of everyone. Realizing he'd been tricked, Louis lashed out at Cassie in anger, slapping her. Furious, he ordered Sophia to be restrained. As the situation escalated, David stepped in, disregarding the risk of revealing his true identity. Seizing the opportunity, Sophia clung to David, pretending to be scared, begging him to stop the bad people. Louis, still smug, sneered that their families had a deep-rooted bond and accused Sophia of insanity. But his confidence crumbled when David's men moved in, seizing Louis at a single command. David coldly declared that no one would lay a hand on Sophia. At his signal, his guards struck Louis twice. As they prepared for the final blow, Sophia intervened with a smirk. "Hurting bad people must be exhausting," she teased. "Let me finish this one." With a firm slap, she left a lasting mark on Louis's face. Using David's influence, Sophia fully asserted her dominance over Louis. Enraged, Louis threatened David, reminding him that this was his domain and ordering his guards to attack. However, to his horror, his men remained still. They had already pledged loyalty to David. Just then, another faction arrived, forming a protective barrier around Sophia. Gasps filled the room as these elite guards bowed and addressed her as mistress. The shocking revelation confirmed Sophia's true identity. She was the heir to one of the 4 great families. Louis refused to believe it, convinced it was another of David's manipulations. But his doubts were shattered when Sophia's lead guard, Caleb, struck him down and presented the official family crest before kneeling. The rest of the guards followed suit, swearing allegiance. Still defiant, Louis sneered, "You're all fooled by a mere symbol. And as for you, David, you're just a cripple feeding off my family's scraps. Tonight, I'll bathe this hall in blood and put you in your place." Sophia let out a mocking laugh. "Louis, you mongrel, who gave you permission to stand?" Catching her cue, Caleb's eyes darkened, and with a swift kick, he shattered Louis's leg, sending him to the ground. Cassie, furious, spewed insults at Sophia, but Caleb silenced her with a brutal backhand. Despite his pain, Louis smirked. "One leg is a small price for Starlit Corporation. I've already replaced the top executives with my people. One phone call and Sophia is finished." But as he reached for his phone, it rang. Answering it, his face turned pale. His planted executives had been arrested, and Starlit Corporation had reverted back to Sophia. Trembling with fury, Louis growled, "This is all you, David. My father won't let this slide." David merely chuckled, taking Sophia's hand. "I'll leave the cleanup to my men," he said coolly as he led Sophia away. Before they could leave, Caleb stepped in, thanking David for protecting Sophia but insisting she return home. David, however, wasn't ready to let her go. He challenged Caleb if she truly belongs to a great family, where is her family head? Sophia has been missing for 5 years. Someone clearly wanted her erased. Sophia felt a chill. She worried for her grandfather and sensed a deeper conspiracy. Knowing she needed to return to uncover the truth, she agreed to leave with Caleb. Before departing, she handed David a small candy, smiling. "I'll visit you again soon." On the ride home, Sophia questioned Caleb about recent family affairs. Realizing the sharpness in her voice, Caleb noted that she had completely regained her senses. He detailed how her stepmother and stepsister, Bess, had been draining the family's wealth while controlling the organization from the shadows. Sophia knew that her descent into madness was no coincidence, it was their doing. Upon arrival at the mansion, the guards failed to recognize her and attempted to block her entry. At that moment, Bess appeared, smirking smugly. Sophia demanded the truth, and Bess, oozing arrogance, confirmed it all. "Yes, I was the one who turned you into a fool and sold you to Louis." Caleb restrained the guards as Sophia seized Bess, dragging her into a nearby room. Without hesitation, she slapped her across the face and dunked her head into a water basin, as if trying to wash away her poison. Furious, Bess turned to the servants for help, but just then, their father and stepmother arrived. Seizing the moment, Bess collapsed into dramatic sobs, accusing Sophia of attacking her. Sophia's stepmother joined in, playing the victim. To her disappointment, their father didn't question a thing. Instead, he sided with Bess and scolded Sophia harshly. A bitter smile formed on Sophia's lips. Sophia exposed Bess's crimes, even providing an audio recording as proof, yet her father remained unmoved. Dismissing her injuries, he coldly insisted, "You're fine, so let it go. Apologize to your sister and stepmother." Without hesitation, he ordered Sophia to be thrown out of the house. Just then, her grandfather arrived, sternly reprimanding both her father and stepmother for their injustice. He stood firmly by Sophia's side, but even with his support, her father continued to belittle her, blaming her for tarnishing the family's reputation. At that moment, Sophia realized the depth of her father's betrayal. He had erased her from the family and allowed her stepmother and Bess to torment her without consequence. Just as her father insisted on throwing her out, David arrived, shielding her. "You won't lay a hand on my girl," he warned, his voice sharp with rage. Her father sneered, dismissing David as insignificant, but he quickly regretted it when David commanded his men to restrain Bess and her mother. Seizing the opportunity, Sophia slammed Bess's head into the ground, giving her the punishment she deserved. Furious, her father threatened David, boasting about his powerful connections, but when those allies arrived, they immediately bowed in respect to David. One of them even struck Sophia's father, promising to take care of the situation for him. Seeing her grandfather pleading on her behalf, Sophia felt a moment of softness and signaled David to let them go. David complied, pulling Sophia close as they left the mansion, leaving her father and his scheming family humiliated. Later, David's men reported that the Louis family was taking precautions against him, but David remained undeterred, his mind set on avenging his father's death at Louis's hands. That night, he stayed by Sophia's side, watching her sleep peacefully before eventually dozing off himself. The next morning, Sophia awoke to find herself beside David, unable to ignore his sculpted physique. A wave of temptation washed over her, but she quickly composed herself, pretending to be unaffected. After breakfast, she quietly left David's house, adopting a new identity to attend a high-profile auction. Her goal was to form strategic alliances to regain control of her family's wealth. Upon arriving, she caught sight of a man who bore a striking resemblance to David, walking with ease, without the need for a wheelchair. In a private lounge, David, wearing a mask, was indeed preparing for the auction. He had orchestrated the entire event with a special plan in mind for Louis. Meanwhile, Sophia made a stunning entrance, drawing every eye in the room. Louis immediately took notice, approaching her with a lecherous grin, but she met him with icy indifference. Cassie, seething with jealousy, insulted Sophia, calling her nothing more than a rich man's plaything. Without hesitation, Sophia slapped her across the face. David arrived just in time to restore order and officially begin the auction. Quickly, Sophia realized that David had set a trap for Louis and decided to play along, strategically driving up the bidding prices to manipulate him into overspending. Enraged, Louis accused Sophia of conspiring to rob him. In response, she coolly pulled out a black card, paying the remaining amount and matching Louis's total expenditure. Humiliated, he attempted to strike her, but David intervened, banning both Louis and Cassie from all future auctions. After the auction, Sophia invited David for a private conversation. Standing close, with only his mask between them, they both felt an undeniable tension. But before they could explore it further, an interruption forced Sophia to leave. As she departed, she left behind a card, which David picked up while receiving alarming news: Sophia had gone missing. His heart pounded as he immediately launched a search. Meanwhile, Sophia, on her way back to David's place, bumped into a passerby and, thinking fast, paid them $1,000 to swap clothes as a disguise. David, tracking her location, found her quickly. Relief flooded his face when he confirmed she was safe. Meanwhile, Louis, still fuming from his humiliation, crossed paths with Bess, who suggested they join forces to take Sophia down. At the same time, Sophia encountered a famous actress being harassed by thugs and stepped in to help. Coincidentally, the actress turned out to be David's niece, whom he had planned to introduce to Sophia. Recognizing her instantly, the niece excitedly called her Auntie, but Sophia quickly pulled her aside, urging her to keep her restored mental state a secret. The niece playfully agreed, leaving Sophia both amused and exasperated. Later that evening, David had to leave for business, and his niece convinced Sophia to join her for a night out. However, the evening took a dark turn when the niece accidentally wandered into a private room and was forced to drink by some unsavory men. Sophia received a distress call and rushed over, only to realize she had walked into a trap set by Louis. Just as Louis tried to assault her, David stormed in, rescuing her and ordering his men to destroy the Louis family once and for all. On the way back, Sophia began feeling the effects of a drug, her body burning with feverish need. Bess had orchestrated the whole thing, arranging for someone to secretly film David and Sophia in a compromising situation to ruin her reputation. Though David initially resisted, Sophia's desperate pleas broke his resolve, and they spent the night together. The next morning, Sophia quietly left, meeting with Caleb for updates on Louis's downfall. She was relieved to learn that the incriminating video had been suppressed. Soon after, she returned to her family estate, presenting the family crest to officially reclaim her inheritance. Her father was left speechless, while her stepmother and Bess screamed in frustration. David stood by her side, declaring that Sophia, a self-made woman, was more than capable of leading the family. As they got into the car, Sophia playfully touched David's leg, teasing him about his prosthetic and asking when he had it fitted. David pulled her close, demanding to know why she had snuck out that morning and why she had pretended to be mentally unstable for so long. The tension between them escalated until David dismissed the driver, and they surrendered to their passion once more. Later, Sophia gleefully received her household registration documents, personally returned by her father. However, just as she and David celebrated, they were ambushed, and Sophia was kidnapped before David's eyes. Enraged, he quickly realized it was another of Bess's schemes. During captivity, Sophia endured severe torment, including being injected with an unknown substance. Desperate, David arrived at the scene, offering all his wealth in exchange for Sophia's release. But Bess had no intention of letting them go. She set the building ablaze, determined to burn them alive. Ignoring the danger, David rushed into the flames, saving Sophia as they both suffered severe injuries before being rushed to the hospital. Fortunately, Sophia regained consciousness first and remained by David's side, praying for his recovery. 3 months later, she returned as the new head of her family's business, only to be surprised by David's unexpected arrival. Gently, she reminded him to take better care of himself. Their bond had only grown stronger, and together, they registered their marriage, sealing their love and legacy.